My church attendance isn't perfect, which don't judge. I think that's one of the commandments. It's don't covet the neighbor's oxen, and then I'm pretty sure the next one is don't judge. But listen, I crushed the holiday services. Christmas, Easter, I'm there early, I'm saving seats. I'm motioning with the ushers, hey, we got 2 more in back, 3 available. It's great. But recently I've become a little uncomfortable at some of the homilies that I hear. And listen, sometimes I'll exaggerate some stories from stage. I'm not saying I've never done that. I'm just saying I get a little uncomfortable thinking that maybe the Father's doing that. Like, these are the last 3 homilies that I've heard. Some of the stories. The first one, he got pulled over by a cop leaving a funeral that he had done, and when the officer found out he was a priest, he let him off. And then Father invited him to the service and said, if you are here, Officer Gomez, we welcome you here this morning. And it got a round of applause. I'm looking around to see who has a mustache, is he here? But a couple little questions, who's getting pulled over in a cemetery? Also, who's pulling people over in a cemetery? That's probably the worst day of their life, and you're going to give someone a ticket? Like, come on, Gomez. The very next story I heard him tell was he sat next to country singer Luke Bryant on a plane, and Luke Bryant told him that, what he does is a lot of smoke and mirrors, but what you do, Father, is really the right thing, so keep doing what you're doing. Great story. I don't know if Father always flies first class or if Luke Bryant likes to sit back by the bathrooms. At that point, I was telling my wife I'm getting a little uncomfortable at the 100% accuracy at some of these stories. And literally the most recent story that I heard our priest say is he was going to church that morning and he had spilled some coffee on his drive, and he was swerving as he spilled, looked in his rearview mirror, whoop whoop. And when I heard him do that siren, I told my wife, I'm like, listen, I can't be part of this. So I don't know if he was pulled over again by Officer Gomez. I don't know if it was Reno 911. I don't know. I just have a couple, like, how often do you get pulled over? Like, that should be a prayer request. Maybe you should fly more. And I don't know if Father has Netflix and he's watching comedy specials and thinking, I need to go bigger. And granted, these weren't 3 consecutive weeks. Maybe I just happened to catch his greatest hits. I just was surprised that no one else was kind of wondering about the stories. And maybe he wants to go to an open mic together. I'll drive.